Have you ever heard the story of a man who rose from being a servant to leading an entire nation into victory? This is the rising of Joshua, a man chosen by God. A man who showed that faith and courage can lift you higher than you ever dreamed. Stay with me, because this story will show you how an ordinary man became an extraordinary leader. Joshua first appears as the assistant of Moses. He was not the most famous, he was not the loudest, but he was faithful. When Moses went up the mountain, Joshua waited. When Moses entered the tent of meeting to speak with God, Joshua lingered near the presence of the Lord, refusing to leave. Quietly, patiently, he learned what it meant to serve God. One day, danger struck. The Amalekites attacked Israel. Moses gave Joshua his first great task. He told him, "Choose men and go fight." Joshua obeyed. While Joshua fought with the sword, Moses lifted his hands to heaven. When Moses' arms were raised, Joshua's army prevailed. When they fell, Israel began to lose. So Aaron and Hur held up Moses' arms, and with God's power, Joshua defeated the Amalekites. This was the beginning of his rise. Victory not by strength alone, but by God's hand. Years later, Joshua faced another test. Moses sent 12 spies to explore the land of Canaan. 10 returned trembling, saying, "The giants are too strong. We cannot win." But Joshua and Caleb stood firm. They said, "The land is good. If God is with us, we will overcome." The people were afraid and rebelled. Yet God saw Joshua's faith. He promised, "Joshua and Caleb will live to see the land. All the others will perish in the wilderness." Joshua's trust in God set him apart. Time passed. Moses grew old. His journey came to an end. But God was not done with Israel. He called Joshua. The Lord said, "Moses, my servant, is dead. Now you, Joshua, will lead these people into the land I promised them." Imagine the weight on Joshua's shoulders. A whole nation looking to him. Yet God spoke again and again. "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. I will be with you wherever you go." Joshua's first great act as leader was impossible by human hands. Before them lay the Jordan River, full and overflowing. But God told Joshua to instruct the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant to step into the water. The moment their feet touched, the waters stopped, standing like a wall, and Israel crossed on dry ground. The people knew God was with Joshua, just as he had been with Moses. Then came Jericho, a city with mighty walls. How could Israel win? God gave strange instructions. Not swords, not ladders, not fire. For 6 days they marched around the city, once each day, in silence. On the 7th day, they marched 7 times, and then gave a great shout. The walls crumbled to the ground. Jericho fell without a single blow. Joshua's fame spread. Nations trembled, for they knew Israel's God fought for them. But Joshua was not lifted by pride. He remembered who gave the victory. He bowed before God. He listened for his command. When Israel failed, Joshua wept and sought God's answer. When they triumphed, Joshua gave the glory back to the Lord. He was a warrior. Yes, but also a servant. The servant of God Almighty. So what do we learn from Joshua's rising? That greatness is not built on strength or power. It is built on faith, courage, and obedience. Joshua was once just a helper, but God raised him to lead because he trusted and obeyed. His story teaches us that if we remain faithful in little things, God can lift us to greater things. So now I ask you, what battle are you facing today? What wall stands before you? Remember Joshua. Remember his courage. Remember his God. The same God who brought down the walls of Jericho can bring down the walls in your life. Be strong, be courageous, and trust that God will fight for you.